Other implications include using just one battery for the model. So the model uses one 3-volt battery, which are two 1.5-volt cells put together. Having the 5 parallel circuits and 3 series circuits, that means that this battery is going to die very early. Whereas if I'd perhaps wired it in series instead, the battery would obviously last a lot longer, but given the amount of components, the lights may not glow at all, or they might be very dim. The motor would be extremely slow or not move at all. And same for the buzzer, it would either be very faint or it wouldn't work at all. There was a lot of problem solving throughout the process of constructing the model. So one of the first issues that arose was the buzzer wasn't sounding at all. There was no sound energy coming from that. I realized that I actually put the black wire to the positive terminal instead, so I switched those around and then it worked fine. The other issue I had was that I have 2 motors in my truck. So the 2 motors worked perfectly, but the Healthy Harold image up the top spun way too quickly and actually came off of the top of the motor. So I needed to slow the motor down. I added weights to do that, which did slow it down, but then that caused the second motor to not push the truck along the ground at all because it was too heavy. I had to then remove that weight and then add a series circuit rather than parallel circuit. So it was in parallel circuit that the motor was spinning much too fast. Putting that in series with 2 globes slowed that motor down without adding all the extra weight. So that meant that the main motor was able to still push the truck along the ground, while also having a slower motor up the top so that Healthy Harold could spin nicely without flying off again. Another problem encountered during the construction process was a lot of the wires were coming undone. So I'd twist them around each of the components, but moving them the amount that I had to connect them properly meant that they were coming undone. So I actually learned to solder during the process. I borrowed my dad's soldering iron. And I learnt to solder, and I was able to connect a lot of the components together with a more reliable connection, so they stayed together quite nicely after I did that. You might see here there's actually a little shiny component, which is the soldering right there. Finally, there is a video of my artifact working in full. So that's all components working together, as well as some components being switched off and working in isolation. So enjoy the video.